Hello and welcome to the English for Grade 7. Today is Tuesday, 8th of December, and thank you for joining me on another episode of our program. With me here, Daniel. Okay, today we're going to start Unit 11. First, as we did earlier with Ledin's introduction or warming up. Look at the picture here. And I want you to focus on the picture. On the left side top you can see something, and the right side and below. Look at the pictures. Let me just zoom it out for you. First look at the pictures. Okay, that's a preparation for the unit. Now we're going to look at the first exercise. Ledin number 1, look at the pictures and what accidents might happen. Okay. And then this other question, what are the types of accidents can you think of? Okay, let's look at the picture and try to say and talk about accidents. For example, the first picture, you can see a boy standing on the rough shore, which is rocky shore, and okay, he might slip off the rocks and fell into the sea. That is the first accident that we could think of. How about the next one on the right? You can see a ship and a huge iceberg. So the ship might hit the iceberg and sink. Okay, so we are trying to prepare ourselves for the unit, and the first part is warming up or leading. We want to look at the pictures and it's about accidents, and the other one you can see traffic lights, and you can see motorbikes, and you can predict that the motorbike might get hit by the car. Now, look at the title. That is preparation. The title, Narrow Escapes. What is narrow? The first understanding of the meaning is being shorter from side to side. And escape means to go away from a place where you're not allowed to leave. Okay. Now, narrow escape means just actually achieved in something, just escape from something, just avoiding something. So it is not about side to side. Narrow escapes, the title of Unit 11. We started with our introduction or with our understanding of pictures and thinking of this sort of focusing on the appearance, or maybe not reading the title and details of a text is called orientation, and particularly applicable when you come to take a test of managed time, maybe IELTS, maybe TOEFL, or even SATs. Okay, now we're going to move to another exercise, question number 2, and look at the question. You're supposed to read the sentences here and then listen. Okay, so the sentences are presented in the form of A, B, C, D, E. And the question is, you are supposed who said. The items written in the sentences. David or Eva, or Patrick or Patrick's mother, and even Eva's father. Okay, so look at the sentences here. Number 1, hold your mother's hand and don't be afraid. Number 2, don't play on the rocks. Number C, he should have come with us. And number D, as I was turning a sharp corner, the back tire skidded and I screamed for help. Understanding the meaning of words here and having new vocabulary just be with me. First, we're going to do the listening. Okay, so listen to the tape. Let me just look at the tape for you. And you're going to listen to the tape. Okay, listen.
Unit 11. Narrow escapes. Exercise 2, page 48.
So you need to turn it on. I forgot. Turn it on, and I'm going to play it again. Okay, yeah, listen.
Unit 11. Narrow escapes. Exercise 2, page 48.
Hey.
Okay, listen up.
Unit 11. Narrow escapes. Exercise 2, page 48.
Hey.
David Franklin was riding his motorbike through the Canadian mountains. It was a cool evening. He loved the quiet, lonely road and really enjoyed the feeling of speeding along in the fresh air.
As I was turning a sharp corner, the back tyre skidded. That's the last thing I remember,
says David. David lost control of the bike, and when he woke up, he was at the bottom of a hill. He was bleeding and his left leg was broken. He knew he had to get back to the road for help. Slowly, he began the painful crawl up the hill. He was in agony, but kept going. Eventually, he reached the road. Passing cars stopped to help him. David felt extremely relieved. He was exhausted, but he knew he was lucky to be alive.
B.
Ava Hart felt excited when, in 1912, she and her family boarded the famous new ship, the Titanic. It was the first voyage of this amazing ship, and also the last, as the ship never reached its destination. On the fourth day of its voyage, the Titanic crashed into a huge iceberg. The engine stopped, and water started rushing into the ship.
All around me, people were screaming and running to the lifeboats. My father lifted me into one of them. "Hold your mother's hand and don't be afraid," he said to me. I was shaking with fear.
Ava's father stayed behind to help the other passengers. Tragically, there weren't enough lifeboats for everyone. Ava never saw her father again.
"He should have come with us,"
she kept repeating as the ship disappeared into the sea.
C.
Don't play on the rocks, Patrick,
My mother said as I left the house. It was a rather cloudy day just a week before our holiday was over. The beach was lovely, but the tides were dangerous. Twice a day the sea came up and covered the rocks. I was playing on the rocks when suddenly, to my horror, I realized I was surrounded by water. I climbed up higher, but the water was rising fast. The rocks were wet and I kept slipping. I thought I was going to drown. The water had reached my waist when I saw a fishing boat. I screamed for help. The boat came towards me, and the fisherman was able to rescue me just in time. From that day on, I never played on the rocks again.
Okay, we listen to the tape here. It's part of our new episode, which is Unit 11. The title of Unit 11 is Narrow Escape. We listened to 3 sort of accidents, and you were supposed to answer the questions here from A to the last one. Please, if you need to listen again to the audio, do it and complete this part. We're going to move to another one. We need to focus on the expressions here, the vocabulary, and the preposition probably of the information presented here. And look at here. Again, another part. The next page, you have a title which is written, Which Survivor? Survivor is a person who continues to exist or live. Nearly died in a famous tragic accident. Okay. Famous tragic accident, Titanic. And was who again, or which survivor was warned about something dangerous? Okay, so you needed to find out which one, A, B, C, or actually A to C. And the next one, suffered, which one? Suffered from, or which survivor suffered from great physical pain? And which survivor lost a relative? And which survivor was involved in a road accident? And the last 2, the first, which survivor narrowly escaped by boats, and the other one were helped by strangers. Okay, you need to focus on the listening again and answer this question. But let's look at another part, see if you want interesting things to focus, and focus on the bold word. Okay. Let's listen again. Try to listen, and we're going to focus on the questions, and at the same time we're going to focus on the expressions, and then trying to complete the rest of questions here in this space. So I'm going to play the audio again. Listen up.
Unit 11. Narrow Escapes. Exercise 2, page 48.
A.
David Franklin was riding his motorbike through the Canadian mountains. It was a cool evening. He loved the quiet, lonely road and really enjoyed the feeling of speeding along in the fresh air.
As I was turning a sharp corner, the back tire skidded. That's the last thing I remember.
Okay, the first thing is the meaning of a skid. The skid means to slide maybe sideways or maybe forwards, but uncontrolled. Skid is used for vehicles a lot. Skid.
Says David. David lost control of the bike, and when he woke up, he was at the bottom of a hill. He was bleeding and his left leg was broken. He knew he had to get back to the road for help. Slowly, he began the painful crawl up the hill.
Okay, painful is easy to understand, but crawl. Crawl means when you move on your hand and your knees and your body is close to the ground. That is crawl.
He was in agony, but kept
Agony, extreme, maybe physical, maybe mental pain.
going. Eventually, he reached the road. Passing cars stopped to help him. David felt extremely relieved. He was exhausted.
Relief, the stage that you have after the problem solved. You have a problem or you have problems and you feel in serious and intensive situation, and after that the problem is solved. You get relief, or you are relieved, getting comfortable.
But he knew he was lucky to be alive.
Okay, the first one was David Franklin. Oh, can you answer the questions? For example, let's look at the questions. Nearly died in a famous, not this one, was warned about something, not this is dangerous, and suffered Great physical pain. Yes. So you are supposed to write A here. David Franklin, A. He was in agony, great or extreme physical or mental pain. And lost a relative, no, A. And was involved in a road accident. Again, you have to write here A for number 4A as well. How about narrowly escaped by boat? No. And then when, okay, were helped by strangers. Probably again. Yeah, okay. Listen again and continue the rest of this. So we are going to focus on understanding the vocabulary, and I'll let you work out the question that we just finished you up.
B.
Ava Hart felt excited when, in 1912, she and her family boarded the famous new ship, the Titanic. It was the first voyage of this amazing ship, and also the last, as the ship never reached its destination.
The meaning of voyage. Voyage is a long trip. Then particularly refers in a space or on the sea.
On the fourth day of its voyage, the Titanic crashed into a huge iceberg. The engine stopped, and water started rushing into the ship.
Rush means to move, to pull heavily, or to move quickly.
All around me, people were screaming and running to the lifeboats. My father lifted me into one of them. "Hold your mother's hand and don't be afraid," he said to me. I was shaking with fear.
Ava's father stayed behind to help the other passengers. Tragically, there weren't enough lifeboats for everyone. Ava never saw her father again.
He should have come with us.
She kept repeating as the ship disappeared into the sea.
C.
Don't play on the rocks, Patrick.
My mother said as I left the house. It was a rather cloudy day just a week before our holiday was over. The beach was lovely, but the tides were dangerous. Twice a day the sea came up and covered the rocks. I was playing on the rocks when suddenly, to my horror, I realized I was surrounded by water. I climbed up higher, but the water was rising fast. The rocks were wet, and I kept slipping. I thought I was going to drown. The water had reached...
Okay, what the meaning of slip? S-L-I-P. Means again to slide, but to slide short distance and accidentally, sorry. Okay, to slip.
My waist when I saw a fishing boat. I screamed for help. The boat came towards me, and the fisherman was able to rescue me just in time. From that day on, I never played on the rocks again.
Okay, we had about 3 accidents by 3 people, and you needed to complete some of the questions earlier presented to you, but the main thing was you needed to focus on formation of expressions that we're going to cover in this sentence and vocabulary. Okay, look at exercise number 5. In exercise number 5, you are supposed to fill in the verb with A bank which started with relieved and then destination, exhausted, agony, rescue, and drown. Okay. You look at the exercise from 1 to number 6, 1 to 6, and try to complete this part. At the end of a sentence, you can see inside brackets a word that is simple or paraphrase for the word. Take about 15 seconds and your time is starting right now. 15 seconds for you. 15, 14, 13, 10, 5, 4. Okay, the time's up. The first one. We need to complete the first sentence. What did you choose for the first one? The fireman blank the man who was trapped in the burning building and saved is paraphrase or synonym of the word. Okay, well done. The correct answer is here, rescued. How about number 2? When he was injured during the football match. Great pain. Number 2, agony. Okay. And number 3, she felt when she heard that her son had survived the crash. The meaning is comforted, relieved. Okay, correct answer. And number 4, fortunately the plane was able to reach its on one engine. And we're looking for the word that means journey's end, destination. And number 5, the sailor nearly, when his boat sank, died on the water, drowned. And number 6, the last one, he was, after working in the garden all day, very tired, exhausted. Okay. You have to make sure that you can understand the meaning. You have to make sure that you are capable of explaining the meanings in a simple English. Use a dictionary to start, and you need to have a good and handy dictionary for this purpose. Okay, let's get a move on. Exercise number 6, and you're supposed to fill in the expressions, the correct words from the list, and use words only once. You have a number of expressions that needed to be completed from number 1 to number 8, and the list includes to lose, to, the first one is to lose, the second one is to board, and the next one is to ride. Fishing is the next one, and to feel. Sharp, to keep, and the last one reached. Okay, take about 10 seconds and try to get ready and work on this exercise. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Okay, your time is up. Go to exercise or question number 8. We have A and then blank boat. A fishing boat. Well done. How about number 6? Blank a ship. What is it? Blank a ship. To board the ship. To get on the ship. Yes, to board. How about number 7? He blank his destination. He reached his destination. Reached is destination. And number 5, you have relieved, but what is the correct word to complete this part? To lose? No. To board? We complete. To ride? Fishing? To feel relieved? Yes, for number 5, to feel. And number 4, going. Okay. Going. To keep going. Okay. And number 3, control of something. To lose control of something. And number 2, a sharp corner. Means 90-degree almost corner. Sharp corner. And sharp angle. Number 1, a motorbike. To ride a motorbike. Okay, here the practice is this. We listen 2 times to the listening, and you need to memorize the expressions. If you want to speak later, if you want to write an essay later, you need to use a combination of words together, because it's a headache or hassle if you look for the words to combine them together, and it won't look very natural. So the thing is this: every unit should be accompanied by your practice to memorize the expressions. Okay, now we're going to move to another one, and another part is sort of general exercise, which is about words that could be confusing, words often confused. You are supposed to underline the correct words in 4 statements or 4 sentences from number 1 to number 4. Take about 15 seconds and look at the question. Read these sentences, probably a couple of them, and try to come up with a solution with them. So your time starts right now for about 10 seconds. 10, 9, 6, and your time's up. Okay, let's try to see. Number 1, the sun rises in the east or rises in the east. Rises in the east. Well done. Number 2, if you know the answer, raise your hand or raise your hand. Yes, correct. Raise your hand. And number 3, he skidded or slipped on a let me see, banana skin and broke his arm. Okay, so the question is whether he skidded or he slipped. No, he slipped. The correct answer is he slipped. And differences between a slip and a skid. Slip is a slide a short distance accidentally, and a skid is a slide maybe sideways or maybe forwards, and it's uncontrollable for about longer. So the skid is usually used for the vehicle, and the slip is correct for the situation. And number 4, the car skidded or slipped across the road and hit a tree. Yes, well done. For the car skidded. Okay, you needed to focus on the differences between the meaning of words here. And okay, one more time. Today is 8th of December, and we just started Unit 11. Second page of Unit 11, we started with the title, which is Narrow Escapes. We learned about accidents. We learned about combination of words here in these examples we recently completed. We are going to work more and look at the exercise number 8. In exercise number 8, you are supposed to complete the expressions using correct prepositions. Okay, prepositions, as you know, are the words that are added to the sentences. They come usually before the nouns, and that they give extra information about location, about the place, like about the time, at, of, in, out. These are prepositions. Okay, I want you focus on this part for about 15 seconds and try to complete at least some of them, and then we're going to complete it together afterwards. Okay, so about, let's say, 15 seconds, your time starting right now, trying to complete the expressions using the prepositions of the lesson you remember from the audio. 15, 14, 10, 5, and your time is up. Let's go to the questions from number 1 to the last one, which is number 11. Number 1, blank the fresh air. In the fresh air. Who knows the meaning of fresh air? What is fresh air? Fresh, when you apply to the weather or air, means cold and windy, strong wind and cold. That is fresh air. So the meaning of fresh air means the air that blows strongly and brings you maybe cold breeze, windy and cold. So in the fresh air. The next one, number 2, to be at the bottom of a hill. Well done. At is the correct preposition. Number 3, what did you write for number 3? To be in agony. Yes, an agony, if you remember, is physical, extreme physical or mental pain. Number 4, to crash into something. And to shake in fear. To play on the rocks. And number 7, to my horror. And number 8, to be surrounded by something. Number 9, to scream for help. Yes. Number 10, to do something just in time. And number 11, from that day on. Okay, so we completed successfully the preposition. Try to practice, and remember, you need to listen to the audio and tape again, not just one time, and make up everything that settled in your memory for long and last for longer period of time. Make sure that you don't forget. Okay, so language development. Let's look at this part. If you've got an interesting part in here or not, let's see. Okay, in the part that is titled language development, I'm going to look at the information to give advice and expressing, giving advice and expressing, okay, criticism. Look at it. To give advice, we can use should plus bare infinitive. An example is here. You should give up smoking. Should plus bare infinitive. And you want to have a criticism in the past. Should plus have plus past participle. Look at here. You shouldn't have gone. Okay. Criticism, but remember in the past. And advice, should plus bare infinitive. Okay, I think we're going to work out some exercises later, probably if we continue with the unit. And so today is 8th of December. Just remember, probably today is the last day. Our program is that. Keep an eye out on this week's program, on the next lesson that is supposed to be posted on 10th of December in this week. I'm going to brief you about the exam, so just pay attention to the video is going to be posted about the exam, and then probably after 15 we're going to have the exam and end of term. Thank you for joining me today, and stay out of harm's way. Goodbye.